Okay, so my name is Christeen Pusch. I'm a management analyst at TxDOT in the Traffic Safety Division, and I'm also leading or coordinating TSMO efforts, however you want to see it. But I'm also going to talk about our TxDOT TSMO plans and the guidance from Tom. And you'll hear a lot of overlap between like what I'm going to talk about and what Ryan just talked about. So I will start, and this is a little different, but at TxDOT, we actually have developed a statewide strategic plan, and then each of our districts has developed their own TSMO program plan, and then they have tactical plans as needed. And this was from a few years ago. So these were like proposed, and they were actually implemented plans, tactical plans. In some cases, too, we had larger statewide guidance or plans that were developed, like our connected vehicles. We developed a plan for that, and we have a wrong way driving statewide plan. And we did it this way because Texas is generally fairly decentralized. We give a lot of autonomy to our districts, and we wanted to do the same thing here. But as much as we wanted to give autonomy to our districts, we also wanted to make sure that we had some guiding principles, and that's what that statewide strategic plan is. I think also if you can get more in there, there's a certain efficiency gained. So for both reasons, we did it that way. And again, I'm showing a very similar graphic as Ryan did. But again, this is from the Tom, showing the Tom recommends the strategic, programmatic, and tactical elements in a plan. We have the TxDOT statewide TSMO strategic plan, the district program plan, and the district tactical plans, and then ITS master plans. And the focus somewhat relates based on names, strategic, programmatic, and then the tactical. But there are elements of each in each of the plans. So it's not a one-to-one comparison by any means. So just talking a little bit about what is in our statewide TSMO strategic plan. This is where we have our overarching statewide vision and strategies and framework for each district's TSMO program plan. We provide just an overview of TSMO, what it is. We provide that business case, the importance of TSMO. We share some basics, safety and congestion statistics, and kind of share, that the traditional infrastructure projects aren't going to help solve those, and kind of talk a little bit how TSMO might be able to help. In our strategic plan, we also do, in order to develop it, we use the capability maturity model. And so in the plan, we also provide an overview of what that is and how to identify needs. And using that, we've looked at progress made and next steps. Just want to say too, this, you'll see there's a July 2021 on this screenshot, but we also had a 2018 plan. And so what we did was we had that 2018 plan, and then we were told also we needed to update it. And so in the 2021 plan, we also review the 2018 goals and the progress made. And then the other thing is we have just a basic overview of performance measures. And the idea is for everyone at TxDOT to use this plan. So all the districts would refer to it. Just kind of a little bit more about our vision, missions, and goals. So we have our TSMO vision statement: improve safety and mobility for all modes of transportation by integrating planning, design, operations, construction, and maintenance activities, and acknowledging all opportunities for innovation. TSMO mission statement: through innovation, collaboration, and performance-based decision-making, transportation facilities are developed, constructed, maintained, and operated cost-effectively with the end user in mind. And we have, I think they're somewhat similar, our safety goals: safety, collaboration, integration, efficiency, reliability, and customer service. And just because I did see it referenced in the TOM, we do link those goals with objectives. And those are kind of just explaining more or less what they are. And you'll see this also referenced in some of our plans, on some of the district plans. So, it just explains efficiency, implement projects that optimize existing transportation system capacity and throughput. And I just also wanted to point out that we do, I think best practice, Tom also mentions this, And I know in other planning efforts at TxDOT, we do look at this, making sure that our goals and performance measures align with those in larger efforts. And so I think the Tom mentions, that TSMO should be used to meet MAP 21 and the FAST Act goals. And so, and we're also looking to meet our own statewide performance measures. And so kind of just looking at what our goals are and these goals, there is some overlap, although it's definitely not a direct one-to-one. And as I said too, with other planning efforts, I've come from the long range planning group. And so we looked at these goals as well and making sure that and then later on making sure that our unified transportation program, our STIPs, our TIPs, all of those aligned with similar goals and performance measures. And that's really important because there's so much to do. And so this ensures kind of that when you're working towards one goal for one program, you're also just naturally making progress towards another. And so the other thing too is, just like Ryan just mentioned, in ODOT, we've also used, we've used the CMM model to develop strategies as well. And we aligned our these recommendations with the 6 dimensions of the CMM. So business process, system technology, performance measures, culture, organization and workforce, and collaboration. And then, through the workshops, we further elaborated on these and kind of looked at what things we were trying to do. So under systems and technology, looked at data management and unit cost estimates for TSMO. And then all of our district plans, all 25 districts, use this to put together. And this is an older statistic, but over 700 recommendations. So it's a lot more than that. I'll show you examples of that in a second. So for these in our statewide strategic plan, for each of the 38 strategies, we also kind of do a higher level kind of assessment, looking at next steps, time frame, task lead, key support partners, goal alignment, and this is with safety, reliability, mobility, and asset time, initial and recurring costs, just whether or not they're high, medium, or low, TxDOT staff effort, again, just high, medium, or low, stakeholders, internal and external, and then return on investment is high, medium, or low. Like I said before, all the districts use our strategic plan to develop TSMO program plans of their own. And so again, this allows the district to establish their vision for TSMO within the framework of that statewide plan. It includes business case, vision, mission, and goals for TSMO, incorporating input from internal and external stakeholders, provides overview of current work, results of the CMM, 5-year action items, and recommendations for tactical plans. So just kind of some screenshots from some of our district plans. Again, we did use the CMM to develop these several workshops, but we're also looking at, like I mentioned before, we have our statewide goals and objectives, and you'll see those listed here. You see safety, reduce crashes and fatalities, right? Those are from our statewide plan. And then each district is looking at their own objectives, putting those together. One of them is reduce crash fatalities by half by 2035 and achieve 0 fatalities by 2050. And that is an organization-wide goal. So some of that's incorporated here, but there's also some other goals of their own. So again, they're allowed to make that their own and look at what their own priorities are. They look at prioritizing some of these. And so what the district has done is they look at action items. And they're looking at, this one here shows an example of early win recommended action items, but there's also low cost, high impact recommended action items, high cost, high impact recommended action items, high impact action items that support ongoing efforts. And so there's a pretty long list of them, but again, always tying it to the capability maturity model and also that capability maturity framework. And then it goes into a little bit more detail here, kind of looking at, and this is, these are all business processes here in the screenshot, but looking at, which district or division, and this is a plan from Dallas and Fort Worth, so, who's involved. But the business process is action item description. You have the action lead, which of the TSMO goals it supports, partners, general cost, high, medium, or low effort, high, medium, low, more or less, TSMO focus area, and then related action items as well. And then, as well as I said, there's also recommendations for tactical plans in the program plan. And so you can see just an example of some of the things that these districts are really planning on doing. There's like a traffic signal management plan, traffic incident management plan, ITS master plan, that type of thing, ITS architecture as well. And then, so before I go on to the tactical plans, I really want to mention our process, because this is really, really important. And this is a slide that was put together for our district plans, but I think the process is very similar as well for the statewide plan. The first step is always leadership engagement. And this is really, really important because I think when you have the leadership buy-in, then they can set certain directives, and they can also, help champion the efforts. And we also have TSMO champions and coordinators, just like Ryan had mentioned in ODOT. And so in our area, at TxDOT, by default, our TSMO champions are the directors of transportation operations in each of the districts. But yeah, the leadership engagement is really kind of just a conversation with them, explaining to them what TSMO is, what the benefits are, but also hearing back from them about certain concerns, what the biggest issues are, that type of thing. So just making sure everyone's on the same page and on board. After that leadership engagement, we do outreach meetings. In some cases, we've first done internal outreach meetings and then external, but this is with all the stakeholders. I think for a 2018 plan, I think we reached out to over 250 people from over 80 different agencies or groups. And so this is, it's not just TxDOT we're reaching out to, but we're also reaching out to, where we have connections with federal agencies, other state and then local agencies. And so just again, same type of thing, just explaining to them what TSMO is and making sure that they're seeing the value and they're able to ask the questions. And after that, we also have CMM assessment. And again, that's getting feedback from our stakeholders in terms of what's important. And again, I think just like Ohio, I've sat on some of those, and we're not trying to be perfect. We have to balance our resources. And so sometimes just say that, just an improvement is good. After that, we worked a lot with consultants, but with TxDOT and our consultants, we put together implementation plans, put together those action items, and then we rolled that out and share that with our stakeholders, making sure that everyone is on board with that. And then finally, the implementation, the tactical plans and implementation of those two is the final step. So tactical plans, I'll get to that. I don't really have too much on that. We're kind of at this stage right now, and each district is really taking the lead on these, and for the most part. But these are targeted deployment plans, providing additional details, responsibilities, and cost estimates. Some of the examples, like I mentioned before, regional TIM program development plan, traffic signal system asset management plan, and the cooperative automated transportation program plan. And so this is mainly for staff involved with TSMO. Like I said before, we also have ITS master plans, and all of our districts are developing their own master plans. And we are actually looking to try to have ITS architectures for all of our districts, and then also having a statewide ITS architecture. But the ITS master plans essentially provide ITS vision, mission, goals, and objectives, existing conditions, ITS inventory and needs assessment, existing and planned ITS projects. And so you can kind of see a map of an inventory of flood gauge sites here. You have some of, the tools, descriptions, costs of some of the stuff too. So you get in a lot more detail in these plans, just, looking at the inventory and the proposed plans. So kind of wrapping it up, we're starting to wrap it up. Kind of what I thought the value of the plan is, I think part of it's just the process, just getting the leadership buy-in and engagement with the stakeholders, so that they're motivated to move forward and support TSMO on an ongoing basis. Like Ryan was saying, there has been quite a bit of staff turnover. I've just been involved with this program about 2 years. And so as people leave, having, other people who are knowledgeable about the program really helps. The other thing too is that the plan promotes the alignment of visions and goals within the program and beyond, right? So making sure we're all going towards the same goals, same direction. It documents the current states, needs, priorities, and path forward. And I think, again, that helps with both of those above. And this graphic was kind of put together for something else, but I thought it was a really good illustration of what I think one of the values of the plan is it just puts the pieces together. And I like the quote below too: coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success. And so kind of with my last slide, I'm just kind of saying this is just the beginning. You actually need to use the plan. I think we've bitten off quite a bit at TxDOT. ODOT was mentioning the same thing, but I think we're in the same boat. So we need to make sure it's not just checking off that box, but we're actually using it. Like I mentioned before, there has been a lot of turnover, and as we have turnover, you need additional engagement and training. I think for me, I got really motivated for TSMO with a CMM workshop. And so I think sometimes that engagement is much more powerful than just a written document. I think advancements in field and changing priorities requires revisiting visions, goals, and priorities. We did that already with our 2018 to 2021 plan, just kind of looking at progress made and stuff and seeing, I think on an ongoing basis, we're going to have to see, whether or not all of these visions, goals, and priorities are still valid. And so we do, plan to update our plans on an ongoing basis. And just with many plans and stakeholders, there are opportunities to collaborate, streamline efforts, and learn from one another. And I think that's a positive way of saying it. It's also a major challenge. But what I put on this screen is just some visuals of some of our other efforts that kind of help support TSMO in other ways. We have a training video or engagement video, just kind of showing, promoting TSMO essentially. This last year, we had a TSMO summit where we brought all our TSMO champions and coordinators together from throughout the state to share kind of what they were doing, share their challenges as well, and learn from one another. And again, that's going to be an annual event. And then we have a TSMO webpage like most others. And so we're sharing resources on there, sharing all our plans on there. We're also developing a SharePoint site to further share our work being done and resources. And that's it for me. This is my contact information.